Both sides making their final arguments in the Curtis Reeves murder trial today. It is about to go to the jury now. The former Tampa police captain is accused of killing Chad Olson as the two men argued over texting during the movie previews inside a Wesley Chapel movie theater in 2014. 10 Tampa Bay's Eric Glasser has been covering it from the beginning. He is live there tonight, so we are waiting for the jury to start deliberating. Eric?
Yep, you got it, Josh. It is happening as we speak. Judge Susan Barthle is delivering jury instructions to this panel. That is the law, that is the rules that they need to follow as they begin their deliberations. As you said earlier today, attorneys for both sides in this case made their final case, closing arguments that could not have painted a more different picture of what happened that day back in January of 2014. Prosecutors talked about witnesses and how much their version of what happened inside the theater differs from the one that Curtis Reeves told investigators and the jury. They conceded that the investigation was sloppy, even using the word crappy. But it wasn't a case of who did it, they said. Curtis Reeves shot Chad Olson, and that has never been up for argument. Prosecutors say the defense was pointing to what they kept calling shiny objects, distractions, conjecture that doesn't really matter here. Reeves' lawyers say it all matters, that he acted reasonably for a man of his age, his health, his background, and his training as a former police officer, and that had detectives done a better job on that day, they might have come to a conclusion not to charge Reeves in the first place.
Self-serving stories don't equal self-defense. If he was hit by a phone, or even if he was hit by a fist from a 6'2" person who's raging mad, how in the world does he not have an injury other than a left eyelid behind glasses? You know why? Because it didn't happen. He was explosive and he was mad about the popcorn. That's what this case is. He started it and he ended it.
In whose shoes do we need to step in? The shoes of Curtis Reeves. It was he that was experiencing the attack.
Prosecutors reminded the jury this case is not about sympathy, that it should not be decided based on a mother and a daughter losing a husband and father, nor a family losing a decorated police officer if Reeves is convicted. Sentencing, they said, would be up to the judge. It is the jury's only job here to determine guilt or innocence. Again, they will begin deliberating very shortly. The judge is delivering those jury instructions as we speak. I am told that they are prepared to go well into the evening, if that's what it takes.
And there are so many layers to this case.
Let's take a quick look back at how we got here. Chad Olson died in the shooting at the Wesley Chapel movie theater on January 13, 2014. 6 months later, Curtis Reeves was released from jail and put on house arrest. His original trial was scheduled for March of 2015, but his attorneys opted to file a motion for self-defense under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Fast forward 2 years, he had a Stand Your Ground hearing where a judge denied him immunity. Then, a year later, his appeal was denied. Ultimately, a Florida Supreme Court decision in 2019 allowed Reeves to stand trial in the shooting. Jury selection in mid-February concluded with 6 jurors and 4 alternates chosen to hear the case.
How did both sides do presenting their case and making their closing arguments? We talked with attorney Roham Kansari. He's been both a prosecutor and a defense attorney. He says the prosecution really focused on the witnesses that were in the theater.
The state pointed out that while they may have given varying perspectives and varying testimony that wasn't necessarily identical, the common theme that existed with those 7 eyewitnesses was that Mr. Olson never climbed over his seat, he never threw anything, and he wasn't in close proximity to Mr. Reeves to the point where he was attacking him. The defense focused primarily on what someone sitting in Mr. Reeves's shoes or in his seat would have perceived as a 71-year-old former law enforcement officer.
He says jurors are going to be reviewing video from the theater, and that video is considered the silent witness in all of this. They'll also be reviewing Reeves' own testimony. When there's a verdict, we're going to let you know. We'll send you a push alert straight to your phone, and you can get that by downloading the free 10 Tampa Bay app.